Hello and welcome back to How to Improvise in Music. Last time we talked about triads, chords with 3 notes. Every triad has a root note, which we call the 1, a third, the 3, and a fifth, the 5. Once again, this is C major triad, the C major chord. Triads can be inverted in many ways, like this. It's the same chord, it's still C major, only I've spread it out over the keyboard. We also mentioned that we can have alternative bass notes to chords. So wherever I play a C chord, I can have a different note in the bass, for instance an A. We have a notation for this. It is C/A. It means C major chord with an A in the bass. Okay, we also talked about degrees. Every chord has a position in the scale. If we play the scale of C major, there are 7 unique notes. And on each of these notes we can build a chord. So the chord D minor, because this is a minor chord, the chord D minor is the 2nd degree of the scale of C major. That's the logic behind it. So if I play the 2nd degree in C major, I play a D minor chord. Thus far the recap. We're moving on to minor scales, and I want to talk a bit about minor and the chords in minor. It's raining today in Amsterdam, so I think it is a very nice setting for minor scales and minor chords. Okay, thus far we talked about the scale of C, which starts at the C. The C has a parallel minor, as we call it, because it has exactly the same notes as C, only the white keys, and that is A minor. So if we start from A, we have the scale of A minor, and you can immediately hear there is a sad sound to it. So the scale of C major is parallel to the scale of A minor. Okay, there's one small weird thing about minor scales, and I want to take you back to the C major scale to show that. In the C major scale there is a half step distance between the 7th and the 8th note. This half step gives a lot of tension when you work with harmony. For instance, what I just played was a sequence of the chords of the 5th degree to the 1st degree. I play G major, the 5th degree in C, C major, the 1st degree in C. And this 5 to 1 is actually the most common way of going from tension to release. You hear it. This cannot last. This is the release. This is the stable state. Now in minor, if we play minor, let's go back to A minor. We see that from the 7th to the 8th note, there are 2 half steps. So if we play this 5 to 1 tension to release, it doesn't have as much tension as we have in major. Once again, 5, it's an E minor chord, to the A minor chord. It is very solemn and it has some religious character to it. But in modern music, we like this seventh note to be really close to the release. We like this seventh note to be only a half step away from the root note. So what we do in minor, instead of playing a natural 7, we play an elevated 7. And then we have this tension between 7 and 8 back. And this sounds a lot more, with a lot more tension. So this minor scale with a elevated 7 we call minor harmonic, because it's a minor scale with the only addition from the major scale that if we play harmony, if we need this tension in the 7th note, then we elevate that 7th. So it becomes a elevated note. So the scale of A minor harmonic has one black key. Once again, I will show you the difference. Please listen carefully. This is 5 to 1, so 5th degree to 1st degree in natural minor. You can hear the monks singing and it's all very devout. And there's a heavy sound to it. Now, we change the normal 7 to the elevated 7. And still the release is very minor, but the tension before the release is very much bigger. Remember this. Usually we elevate the 7th note if we play with harmony. Okay. Now, a small summary of the chords. We do the same thing we did in C major. We're going to just put the first chord on the 1st degree, which is A minor. You can hear it, it's a minor chord. There's also 3 half steps to the 3rd, so we know exactly this is a minor chord. Then we go to the 2nd degree. Here we have a weird sound, and we talked about this weird sound earlier in C major on the 7th degree, because it's the same chord. Remember, we had this 5th that didn't have the right amount of half steps. It's actually a diminished 5th. So this chord is B minor flat 5. So the 2nd degree in a minor chord always has a flat 5. The 3rd degree in A minor is a major chord. So we have major chords in minor scales, we have minor chords in major scales. It's very confusing, but if you do this a few times every day, it will start to make sense. C major is the 3rd degree of A minor. The 4th degree is a minor chord again. D minor in this case. Now we go to the 6th degree. But remember, we have to elevate the 7. In this case, it's the 3rd of the E chord. So the 7th note of A minor is the 3rd of the E chord. Haha, this is a major chord. So the 5th degree in A is not E minor, but it's E. It's E major. Right. Then we are almost done. The 6th degree is an F major chord. The 7th degree can be either G major if we play the A minor natural scale, or it can be G sharp minor flat 5. It depends on the context. So the 7th degree can be either G flat, G major, or it can be G sharp minor flat 5. Usually you don't play 7th degree in a minor scale because it's confusing and it's ugly. Now we've seen all these chords, and of course also these chords, most of them you already found in the scale of C major. There's a lot of overlap because it's all the same keys. Also these chords you can put in any form or shape that you would like. So the chord A minor is just a group of notes. And we can also use inversions. So I can also play this. This is also A minor chord. And minor chords are just as major chords, very easy to put all over the keyboard. And I think that's enough for today. We've now seen all the chords in C major. We've also seen all the chords in A minor. The theory behind the chords goes for all keys, all major keys, all minor keys. So whenever I say the 2nd degree of a major scale is a minor chord, that goes for every major scales. Let me check if that's true. I will play a small example, the scale of G. That is the scale of G, and now I will play the 2nd degree in the scale of G. And again, the 2nd degree is a minor chord. So the chords on degrees in scales have a certain sound to them. They are either major, minor, normal 5, flat 5, but they're always fixed within the scale. They always have a fixed position. This is a lot to work with, but I will repeat it. I will repeat it 100 times until you get it. We will also be using different scales, and we will also be doing some training later on for your ears to actually analyze if a chord is major or minor, and if you can recognize the intervals. All these training videos I will shoot later on. For now, this is enough, and I hope you join me next time, and have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.